Guys, we'll get out of here on this. And Rex, I'm looking at a wall in my office. It's a very large plaque, and it
I've
was
seen it.
when on golfchannel.com we did the series of Tiger at 40. And my contribution, that's the one. If you're following along on YouTube, that indeed is the plaque that I also have. And we did a group project, a series of stories examining Tiger at 40 and the different angles. We did win first place. Please do hold your applause until the end of the podcast. But my contribution that year, Rex, was Tiger at 40, why Tiger Woods still matters. And so I ask you guys as we close out this podcast celebrating Tiger Woods' 50th birthday, does Tiger Woods still matter? If Tiger Woods still matters, how? And why do you think that he still has enduring appeal quite literally 48 years after he first came into our lives? Rex, you can start.
I want to start because we've had Todd on the pod before. He's a friend of the pod. Thank you so much for taking the time during a busy holiday season. And not once during this nearly 40-minute pod have I had to use the buzzer for TV Todd voice. So, like, very good. Like, I
Thank
think
you.
you're yeah, no, don't do it. Also, I had to giggle a little bit about how he wanted to take the victory lap on the privacy pun that he threw out there. He was very proud of himself on that one. He matters because of the things we just discussed. I don't know competitively, and again, this is just being a little short-sighted. He's just coming off another back procedure. But when you see him walk into the media center, I would call it more of a struggle than I would a walk. It's hard to imagine how he ever shows up at Augusta again and finds that magic. But as we've
He's
seen
going to try.
time again, he's going to try. I think the problem specifically at Augusta is it's really hilly and it's usually cold. And after 2 or 3 days, you can see that it takes a toll. But no, I got out of the Tiger Woods doubting business a long time ago. So I'm not going to say right now that he's never going to win again. It would be an amazing story and it would be an incredible accomplishment. But I think the next chapter, and actually the story I wrote is where does Tiger go from here back in that package. So I can't wait to read that and see all the things that I got wrong. I will say it's what he's going to do off the golf course that's going to be much more impactful. We've talked about the future competition committee and what happens to the PGA Tour. We've talked a lot about the Ryder Cup, and somehow the PGA of America seems to have lost its phone number, but he's going to be a captain, probably a multiple-time captain going into the future. And how does he mold that in his image and give the United States some sort of advantage on that stage? What he does with his foundation, all of the things that he's crafted off the golf course, I think it will be his lasting legacy from here.
Yeah, he may not be as powerful as he was from a playing perspective 20 years ago or so. But I still think if you go to Augusta National on a Tuesday or Wednesday and Tiger's in the field and he's playing a practice round and along with the rest of the field, watch who has the biggest gallery. It's going to be Tiger Woods. It's going to be Tiger Woods. We still.
And why? Why?
Well, there's obviously an appreciation for what he's done, for sure. I don't, he's turning 50. I don't think we need to find a career burial plot for him yet. I still think he's got some fight in him. I still think he can compete. Whether it's at Augusta, that's a different story. But I think there's an appreciation by fans. And if you look at him as he's walking around looking like he still could play safety for the Denver Broncos, you think, wow, look at that athleticism. He's still got it. And we want to we want to see it. And maybe if he can, his body and his swing and his mind can all get in synchronicity at the right time, that he can put himself in contention again. I personally would like to see, look, I've said this before, but I'll say it one more time. There's always going to be the argument, who is the greatest ever? Is it Jack or is it Tiger? Jack's not going to be caught from most major championship victories. Tiger's not going to get him. But if he can get one more PGA Tour victory, I think that's something that he really wants to do. I mean, just stop playing the hardest golf courses with the toughest field. Go play the.
He's going to show up at Innisbrook next year.
Hey, let me just tell you.
He almost won it.
Why wouldn't he?
I
mean,
know,
why not?
He has unfinished
that door.
Why would he show up at the Wyndham? Show up at a place that your game. Show up at Colonial. Show up a place where it's not going to be a lot on your body, not going to beat you down physically. It's not a hard walk, in other words. And and it's a golf course that's not super long, where you can use your strengths, which is game management, superior wedge game when he was strong. Just go and do that. Win one more, and get 83. And those who say that Tiger is the greatest of all time, they will have a feather in their cap.
Two things. One, I would still take Todd Lewis in a 50-yard dash over Tiger Woods right now, even though he might look like an NFL safety. So I'm taking you in the 40 over him right now, just based on what I saw in the Bahamas.
Such a sad parallel. I mean, it's just terrible.
That's what I'm going with right there. And the other half of it is, it's a very valid point that you make. I think we've made that argument for a long time, that if Tiger Woods maybe mixed his schedule up a little bit, PGA Tour win number 83 is probably much closer than I think most of us can even imagine. However, I'm going to say this the other way. And look, we have no idea what's going to happen next year when he turns 50, but imagine the impact he could have on PGA Tour champions. And you and I have spoken with a lot of players about this, Todd. The idea that he could have almost the same impact on that tour that he did on the PGA Tour when he came out in the late 90s. That's a very real concept. And I can imagine where, look, we keep talking about the U.S. Senior Open is clearly important to him. Everyone around him has made it clear that would be something that's on his bucket list. He's won the Junior, he's won the Am, he's won the U.S. Open. Be the only player to ever win all of them. If you added the Senior Open, that'd be pretty cool. He's friends with guys who have tournaments. Steve Stricker, he's got a Champions Tour event. Jim Furyk, he's got a Champions Tour event. I think it's a possibility that he can make a move on that tour.
Certainly would be interesting. Tiger Woods, for his part, at least at the Hero World Challenge, said, I have no idea. I don't know. It's TBD. I don't know whether I'm playing in TGL matches in February. I don't know whether I'm playing the Genesis Invitational in February. I don't know whether I'm playing the Players Championship, the Masters, the U.S. Senior Open, the Furyk and Friends. It's all very much TBD as relates to Tiger Woods and his health. Teely, what are you expecting from Tiger Woods, at least from a competitive standpoint, in 2026?
I think he'll try to push himself to play at Augusta National for the Masters. It may be aggressive rehab for him to get there, but yeah, I think there's a decent chance he might show up there and play. From what I've heard, that everything's been going in a positive direction ever since that disc replacement surgery that he had. After that, man, I hope we get to see him play 4 times, at least in 2026, which would include the Masters if he's able to play that. And I hope that he does play a few events on the PGA Tour Champions, specifically Senior Major Championships. I'm interested, to be honest with you. To your point, Rex, I think you're right. Absolutely, he could superbly elevate the PGA Tour champions. But those guys, and you've been around them, well, who, when they make that transition from 49 to 50, they still think they can win on the PGA Tour, and ego gets in the way to make that transition to the PGA Tour champions. And when you're talking about a guy who believes in himself like Tiger Woods has believed in himself in his career, I'm interested to see how that transition takes place, or frankly, if that transition takes place to the PGA Tour champions in 2026.
Yeah, Rex and I have talked about that a couple times. If you are going to burn a couple of your starts